Do you want to own a fucking dispensary? Well, this is maybe not the most professional video we've ever seen, but it certainly does have a lot of valuable information in it. Okay, so maybe you're a stoner, maybe you're a businessman, maybe you're just a fucking 14-year-old kid who has nothing to do with his time and he's wondering, how do I make some money in the future here? Well, okay, so first of all, hopefully you understand and are familiar with the concept of education is not equal to schooling. So schooling, it's not the best nowadays, and education is very important. Education is power. Education leads to knowledge, which knowledge leads to power, and power leads to money, and it leads to fame, it leads to everything. If you have power, you're good. Without power, you're kind of fucked in this world. That's just the way it is, and hopefully the world's getting a little bit better, but you don't want to rely on other people in the current modern day world, because if you have to rely on other people, you have no power, you're fucked, you're at the mercy of other people. Now, let's say you want to work in the medical marijuana industry, and here's a couple of reasons why. It's one of the easier industries out there. By easier, I mean there's always going to be a supply and demand, or at least for the next couple of years or decades, because it's drugs. Come on, it's similar to pharmaceuticals, and I mean, come on, marijuana is just one of the most popular drugs out there, and now with more and more legislation going into place that might allow for it to be legal nationwide one day, you never know. Every single state might suddenly have these opportunities growing everywhere. But let's say maybe it's not a fucking dispensary that you want to run. Maybe it's something else in the marijuana industry. Well, there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of people that were looking for jobs in it, and it's an expanding industry where, I mean, there's more and more classes being taken on it and more classes being opened to the idea of it. So there's more universities that are like, holy shit, we should probably make a little class for, hey, this is how you grow weed. Hey, this is how you should manage a pot shop. Hey, this is for lawyers in the cannabis industry. There's more and more lawyers in there, and lawyers charge a fuck ton. To give you an example, I talked with a lawyer who charged $300 an hour, and he wasn't even like one of the hires ups there. That's just $300 an hour for his time, and that's not even overpriced. That's just the way it is. So marijuana industry, there's definitely a fuck ton of money in it. So let's say you want to open a dispensary, though. That's just the example. That's what we're going to go with here. Let's say, you know, there's various positions you could start from, but the number one best thing you can do is you have to focus on this industry immediately, and you have to figure out which path is going to be the best for you. Whether it's the path of education that you solely buckle down. Let's say you're a teen, you have a couple of years without paying the bills still, so you're able to buckle down on education, figure out, holy shit, here's what I need to do. Maybe you get a degree that will help you in something. Degrees aren't really worth shit nowadays, but maybe it's a specialized degree, and maybe you're able to connect with somebody at college. Connections and networking is one of the most important things you can do in life. So at college, that's very, you know, you might find somebody. It all depends on where you're going, of course. Maybe Colorado and Washington and California, they're a little bit saturated, oversaturated, but at least you're going to find some people there. While you're in the middle of buttfuck Idaho, I don't know about that one. But anyways, so you got that little path where you can go to college and you can get a degree and you can start working in a small job and work your way up there. Or maybe immediately straight out of it, you can make some connections, you're able to do something, or, you know, there's various routes you can take after college. But for this, you're most likely going to be in debt unless you have a lot of money to start with. But if you do have a lot of money to start with, well, then maybe I wouldn't recommend this option. I'd recommend probably this option, where if you do have a lot of money to start with, or if you have a lot of time and you want money to work with, you want to say, fuck college, I don't care. So basically, if you have a lot of time or a lot of money, or you will have a lot of money, you're confident in this, the best thing you can do is just start investing immediately. And investing in not just random shit to make money, unless you know that that's going to make more money. But investing in stuff that's going to help set up precedents for this dispensary. So basically, or any marijuana company or product or service or whatever you want to do. So the best thing, in my opinion, is because I'm an online marketer, you can have a lot of power with social media. I'd say invest in like either, some social media accounts or maybe a social media platform. I mean, Massroots a couple of years ago, that was a great investment. I never invested in it, but I'm just saying it was a great investment for people who are like, this is weird, the Instagram for cannabis, but it worked. It fucking worked. Then came out Doobie, then came out all these other little weed apps. So basically, you can start investing in social media. You can start investing in a little blog with SEO behind it. You can start investing in whatever the fuck you want online, a little service. Basically, something that you're able to build a base with, and that's going to grow and eventually be able to run on autopilot, where you're able to focus on other things so your time is not, or you're confident that you can sell it. So let's say you go with social media accounts. Let's say you make 100 over the next couple of years on all the various modern day platforms, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. They grow viral and stuff. Then you have power, because then you can network with people, then you can connect with people, then you can meet celebrities and maybe find investors that way, and make money through it. You're able to monetize this little platform, so you're able to make money from it, you're able to connect with people, and you have a voice. So with that voice, if you ever do decide to open up a dispensary or sell a product or whatever, let's say 1 million people on these 100 accounts, that is a lot of people that you're marketing to. Most of them are going to be from the US, some are international, which those you can deal with later, but that is a lot of power. And then you could always swap these accounts, maybe for more targeted accounts, maybe, collaborate with other accounts so you can keep growing. Basically, there's so many options with this middle one that it's like, holy shit. If you don't have money, you better start working with time right now. And I'm sure you got a couple bucks, so you can invest a couple bucks in ads here and there. Market. And then, everybody needs to be a marketer nowadays. You need to be able to sell yourself. You need to be able to market your ideas, sell your, grand schemes to people, to the world, your grand vision of what you're going to do to change it, because a lot of people need to be sold on it and need to be very convincing. So that is this option. And then the other option is, if you're not an entrepreneurial type, is you can just start working your way up there. Now, this can be with a degree, or you don't even need a degree. Maybe you just know somebody, or you just figure out the industry, do a little bit of research. Where can I start so I can move my way up there? Let's say you're going to start with like a bud trimmer, for example. You work as a bud trimmer for a couple years while maybe, trying to network with some people, marijuana events, cannabis events. And then, you work your way up there to eventually where you're managing some people, managing a team. And, after a couple of years, you're able to manage a whole dispensary. It's not yours, but you're managing it. And then, you network with managers. You keep moving up the ranks. Some people are good with that. Maybe, some people have the employee mentality. And if that's your mentality, then that's what you're good for. You're not going to be good as an entrepreneur, so you better move that way up there. And then maybe, you learn how to manage people, you learn how to manage a dispensary. At that point, after saving up some cash, after networking with people, maybe you move up further up in the company. Maybe it's a company that owns 100 dispensaries or whatever. At that point, like 10, 15 years in the future, it's going to be a long process, but maybe one day you'll be able to open up your own dispensary or your own company. Now, it's certainly an option, but it's not the best option, of course. And hopefully I kind of deterred away from it. So there's many different routes you can take to open up a dispensary, but the number one thing you need to do is start educating yourself about what the industry needs, because the industry is growing at an ever expanding rate. And here's the thing. Here's what I need to stress to you guys. Every single state will basically have a little bit of a limit with dispensaries. There's going to be the big boys in town, and if you're not one of the big boys, you're going to get absolutely crushed unless you have money, or unless you have influence, unless you know people. So you better get started on it right now, because even if your state's illegal right now, in the next 5 years, it might be legal. So what happens if you're one of the first dispensaries or pot shops to open up? think about it. Anyways, my name is Mike. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share. I know this wasn't a step-by-step how to open up a dispensary, but it was more like a little PSA. So I just want you guys to be, have this entrepreneurial spirit. Boom. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Now, if you liked what you saw, just check out the links in my description below. If you use the Amazon affiliate link, definitely send me a screenshot so I can thank you. And check out my other social media too. Alright guys, see you tomorrow.